when you first got to the league, who was the first person to bust your ass?
Wow. Great question. First person I would say would be Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley.
Chuck.
Yeah, man. Chuck, man. I remember the time like watching Charles, obviously as a kid growing up and admiring him and loving his game. But then the night before the game, my agent, David Falk, and Curtis Polk, they invited me to come out to dinner with them. And they said, Charles is coming. So I'm like, hold up, man. I'm not about to go out here with Charles Barkley and have dinner with him, even though, he's one of my heroes, a guy that I respect, because I don't want to give him that advantage of maybe something I might make a mistake and say at dinner that make me sound like a fan. Then he may start thinking that I'm, going to be soft, or I'm going to, be fraternizing or befriend him. We competitors. And, I have that old school type of mentality that I learned from the OGs, MJ and the other dudes in the hood, in Chicago. So he convinced me. I went to dinner with him. And as we were at dinner, we talking and chopping it up. And, we had a nice time to get to just hear some of his stories, hear some of his advice. And it was very, helpful. So we go out and play the game. I'm thinking he's going to be a little tired because, he probably stayed out a little later than I did because I went home a little early. But Charles came out, man, and, I'm ready to go and I'm ready to compete. And, I just say what's up to him at the jump ball and then let's go with it. Man, I tell you, he was one of the most craftiest dudes that I ever played against, man. It was like every time he got the ball, if I didn't foul him, I got up for a shot fake and he maybe drew a foul. And if he drew a foul, it was an and one. Or if I run it down the floor, he stepped in my way, whether in my path, and he drew an offensive foul, and I was on the bench. And I was so upset and frustrated because I was thinking back to that night. I'm like, see, I should have never went to dinner. I forget how much he scored that day, but I know it was definitely he got the victory and he got the best of me. But I remember, Charles was that dude, man.